Hello everybody, I'm going to start working on this mixer and I want to finish it today. I have to replace two components here. I have to replace this gear tower and I already replaced the brushes, so this is all good. I'm just going to show you how to do that. So there is a couple of things you have to remove. First, you have to remove those 4 screws from this tower, and then you have to remove a couple more inside. I'll show you. And always wear gloves, because when you work on those mixers it can be pretty greasy, so and it's hard to take out all the grease. I worked on this mixer, similar mixer like this, a couple months ago, and the customer just left it there, so I have extra parts too. And some customers, they don't want to fix the units, so they just leave it to me, and then I use it for parts sometimes, you know, if I need to. Now this will come out, so I don't need this for now. Now I'm gonna start taking this part, everything apart. There's a couple of screws you have to remove here, and you need to, I believe, remove this planetary too, and I'll show you how it's done. Where's my flathead? There you go. So just taking the mixer apart, it might take a couple minutes to do that, and when you do it the first time, just, you know, don't rush. Yeah, and then I just removed the 2 screws here. There's 1 screw here you can remove as well. Then you take off this back cover like this. Don't lose all the screws. Now what I need to do, I need to take this ribbon put it aside. This is garbage. So many boxes I have here, it's crazy. Okay, so what I have to do now, I have to separate this part and this part. There's a couple of things you have to do to disassemble it, and this plate, it's gotta come out. Show you how it's done. So this comes out, and then this has to come out, and then there is the planetary comes out, and there is a couple screws you have to remove. I'll show you how it's done. So you need those pin punches, and you just, there's a pin in there, and you just punch the pin out. sometimes those pins, they don't want to come out, and then sometimes they get stuck inside, and that's hopefully not the case, but we'll see. Yeah, it's coming out, but very stiff, so I'll take a bigger pin and see if I can just... There you go. Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't want to come out, so I will have to drill it. Sometimes it happens, unfortunately. Alright, so I took it out, and now I'm just gonna have to take the lefts. There you go. Now the pin is out. Yeah, sometimes you have to do it. Unfortunately, I hate doing that, but you know, sometimes it gets stuck for some reason, and then you have to do that extra step, let's put it this way. So now I have to remove this planetary cup, and I'll show you what I have to do. See, it's coming out. So this side is good. Now take this seal, because you're gonna have to use it after. And now you have access to another 5 screws. It's just flat head screws. You have to remove them. Once you do that, you'll have access to the inner components. I believe I do have some of those pins in stock, like these guys, because, and you know what, when you drill, you see how it's all straight. Make sure you hold the drill. Alright guys, so sorry, I had few customers calling me, and that's why I got interrupted. So basically, when this happens, right, when you have to drill, this is very uncommon, but if you do have this issue, what you want to make sure, you don't want to hold your drill like crooked, you know what I mean? It's got to be 90 degree, okay, angle. So if it's not 90 degree, then what you're gonna do, you're gonna make this hole crooked, and then this shaft right there is gonna go crooked, and then the new pin, you're not gonna be able to insert it, if it makes sense. So always make sure you hold the drill straight. Don't hold it on the angle. It's gotta be straight. So hope it makes sense, but if you don't, you know, worst case, you'll have to replace extra parts, but you know, that's how you learn. So there's a couple more screws here that I have to remove. Alright, and I already see the problem. Alright, so you see this? That means that this gear is worn out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace this gear and wear gloves. That's very important. And you want to put maybe something, see, like I just put my finger into the grease. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to clear the space here a bit. And now you can use a dirty towel or something, you know, to put the parts in. So what you have to do now is you have to remove, where's my Phillips screwdriver, here we go. There's 3 screws you have to remove here. 1, don't lose them though, and there is a washer there, so don't lose those things. 2, and then see this bunch of grease. Just gonna remove it. And this grease is already so old, you have to replace it. And there's not enough grease too, as you can see. It's not, all the gears are not covered with grease, and you want to make sure they're all covered nicely. So okay, so this tower is no good, so this will go to the garbage. Don't forget this 3rd screw. Okay, now what you want to do, you want to inspect all the parts to make sure they're all good, and they look good. There's no problems there, so no missing teeth or anything like that, so that's good. Now you take the new tower, you install it this way. You want to make sure it's all lined up with the gears. And then you just put 1 screw on one side, then you go on the other side. And then you do the last screw, okay? Now what do you want to do? You want to take this out, okay? Because this might be not a good thing to have it there, because it might be some dirt, particles, and then when you install the new part, I might interrupt and might have issues with this new gear. It might go inside and then it will either strip it or do something to it. So you want to make sure you have it as clean. So you don't have to clean it really nice. You are just visually, you want to make sure that nothing is on the way, pretty much. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna apply grease. So you want to put fair amount of grease. You want to cover all the components. Don't chip out on those things, because you want to make sure it lasts for a long time. So almost done. I think it's a good amount of grease. You don't want to put too much, because when it's going to start moving, the grease will fall into the right places. So you just want to make sure all the gears are covered, and then you should be all good. Okay. Now I'm gonna replace this gasket as well, because you can see it's very dry, so that's no good at this point. And where is my, I have some scissors, guess I can use the scissors. Now, very important thing, before you put the gasket on, you want to make sure you apply grease on the gasket. Okay, this is very important. So see the difference between the colors? So when you apply grease, it should look like that. It's very important to do, so don't forget doing that. If you ever replace the gasket, that's how you're supposed to do it. Okay, now before I put this back in, I will take all this old grease that I don't need. Yeah, there's lots of grease in here, so, and it's not a good grease anymore because it became already hard, almost like an expired product. So you want to make sure it's all nice. You don't have to make it spark, but you want to take all this old grease, and of course you want to change it with a new grease. So places where you want to put the grease on is your shaft on the motor, and then your other gear for the extensions, and that's all what you need.